was a little murky. We was a little murky. We was a little murky. Yeah. 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 Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah. 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 Funky triangle. Fine. Triangle. Triangle. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah. What? Hump Day Wednesday. Yeah. Hump Day Wednesday. All right, let me get it straight. My name is Sun752, and I do what I want, really do. But I know that when you come through, that y'all are my fam and my crew. So I act like I really know, and it's time for the Daily Go Get a Mism show. And I say ho, yo, say I, something, put your hands in the air, yo, start to stare at the back of your life, yo, 3 kids, a white, yeah, that's my L. Niggas want to be down with the program, but they really just can't tell if I can. Be man or men. We do this thing starting at 10. Actually, that's the time I rise. It's time to cut the pie's eyes on some other type of stuff. I know I have to get chill, but life is rough. And sometimes I feel like giving up, but I can't do that. I got inspired for real, yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen to me, G. I'm going to be here for he, she, and yo, we just like Nintendo, yo, let's see. Yo, triangle spins, I do this thing, and it's time for me to rack up wins. 18 games in the NFL, 17, yo, I go on and make this. Wait. As I slow down, I do this pronouns. No, not pronouns, fuck all this shit. I said adjectives and verbs. Sun752 is stamping out the herbs. It's Wednesday. Movie night. It's Wednesday. Movie night. Yo, we gonna get right. It's Wednesday. Yo, movie night. Yo, whether it's a thriller or maybe a fright. Yo, get it poppin', yo, start dropping that beat. It's time for us to eat. So when mom says more park sausages, you know the fuck I'm talking about, dog snousages. Yo, I'm on this type of thing. Yo, keep it a ring ding. My main shopper ring. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. I said, gotta get the funky. Got to get the funky triangle. Got to. I said. I said. Hit the like button, y'all. Stop front on. So, all right. So let's get it popping, man. Yo. Okay, so check it out. My name is Sun75. I do things my way, and I don't care how the next man might play. Don't really care what the next man might say. It's time for me to get hyped. I'm starting the day. And I know my ways are not for everybody, but I gotta do it for my brothers, and especially the hotties. Because when they come through, they spending dollars. So I make sure I hate when I mess up. It's like I did my writtens. Yo, you just coming off the top of the head. Is you kidding? I'll be spitting. Do it all day. I don't care who comes through. Freestyle. You'll show me the way. Hey. All right, check it out. Urban Therapy with Sun752 with this your daily. It's the Daily Go Get a Mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. Tonight, we are talking about The movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? There are some flicks that you went to see, whether when you were younger or when you were an adult. There are some movies that take you back to a specific space, place, and time, and you can remember everything that was going on. Maybe you remember because you went to see that movie, or you watched that movie with somebody special, so it was a special time in your life. Maybe you were coming of age, just starting to go from that teenage life to that adult life. Maybe you were in love. Maybe it was when you had children. Maybe it's when your parents were alive. Maybe it's when you and your friends was like this. Maybe it was when you first got your independence. Maybe it was a movie that mirrored your life so heavy that you couldn't help but remember. And when you see that movie again, it takes you right back there. Flashback to the times we had, the times that made us laugh, that made us sad. You know what I'm talking about? Like Just Ice, and we going way back. So that's what we want to talk about tonight, y'all. Movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time you saw that movie. Let's do it. For all of y'all all of my Gen Xers, what was going on in your life when Coming to America came out? What was going on in your life when Coming to America came out? You know what? Come on, man. When you know how big of a movie Coming to America was when it came out. And Coming to America was one of those movies that everybody could enjoy. It wasn't like a sci-fi. Like, I can't tell you what was going on when Star Wars came out, because I never saw Star Wars. I can remember when it came out, and I can tell you, because I have a good memory, what was going on in my life at that time, but not because I saw Star Wars. So I would have to tell you about another movie that came out the year that Star Wars came out. And I would probably go with Return of the Jedi. That was the third one, right? It was Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I remember when my teacher went to go see Star Wars Return of the Jedi, because she was talking about how long they had to wait in the line to get into the movie theater and how there was a baby in there. She's talking about, this is my social studies teacher. She's talking about when she went to go see this movie. She's talking about this in her class. She talked about this, going to go see this movie, and her experience going to go see this movie damn near the whole class session. I was like, bet, no real lessons today. She was talking about how there was this baby crying in the movie, and people was like, yo, shut that baby up. You know what I mean? This was, ain't no VCR in the movie house. You miss a part, you missed the part. They don't rewind. People have said that too, when like they've messed up in the movie theater and they was like, yo, you gotta rewind it. They never did that shit. Wait till it comes out on video. All right, anyway. So I can tell you about, Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I can tell you what was going on in my life. I was in the 7th grade. 7th grade. I think because it came out in 1983. So I remember other movies that came out in 1983 that, add fuel to the fire. I believe that was 1983. Hold on, let me get right. When was Star Wars Return of the Jedi released? This was the end of this school year. May 25th, 1983. I'm telling you, man, I'm fly like that. But yeah, May 25th, 1983. 7th grade. on my way to 8th grade, and my social studies teacher, what was her name? Miss. You know what? Funny thing about my social studies teacher was that she looked white to me. And then people told me that she was black. And I was like, she's black? She was light-skinned, but she didn't look black. She didn't have black features. She looked white. Not just because she was light, because she wasn't that kind of light. She was light enough to pass for white, but she wasn't like light, bright, high yellow, red. It wasn't like that. It wasn't something about the way she dressed, the way she talked, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, after they told me she was black, I started seeing this because she was on some nigga shit. But not before I found out that she was supposed to be black. I thought she was just acting that way. Anyway. So we're going to talk about the movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. So this should be a good show for us. This should be a good show for us. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Come on in here, man. Let's have this conversation. It's going to be a goodie. It's going to be a goodie tonight. Movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. All right, so I'm ready. If y'all ready, hold on. Let me go get my seat. I feel like I've shown out or not enough. So it's just me and T Carey, right? Then that's what it's going to be for the night. Everybody want to hide in the background? Y'all can chill. We going to do our thing. Our thing is going to do us. So let me see. Movies that let's talk a little bit about why certain movies are so nostalgic for us. Why do certain cinematic productions or presentations, why do they mean so much to us? And why did they mean so much to us at the time? Go, yo, breaking it down. What is y'all talking about? Yeah, we here now. And that's my word, yo. Whether you are cool or a nerd, and I say, okay, yo. Kimmy, what's good?
You got it.
I got it. Good. I hope I paid for it because I don't want to make payments on nothing no more. You know what I mean? And the economy crazy right now. The economy is crazy right now. How you feeling tonight?
I'm tired, but
you tired?
I'm here. What about yourself?
I'm good. T Carey, right? If you're still with us, where is Warwick, New York? Is that near NYC? I don't think I've heard of that one. And the reason I'm asking is because
excuse me.
You all right? Don't die now. You know what I mean? We need you. Thun. We need you. Let me see. Warwick, New York. Let me see. How far is Philadelphia from Warwick, New York? God damn, this shit far, man. 134 miles. It ain't that far. Going up towards Connecticut. Real niggas lick shots. Peace, Connecticut. All right, 2 hours and 29 minutes. All right, cool. That's cool. They ain't jet out too far. They just got out of the city. Shout out to Harlem. All right, so we talking about movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at that time. Can you dig this?
Yeah.
You sure? You all right over there?
Yeah.
Go, man, drink some water or something.
I just got through drinking something.
All right. Okay. You can't suffer a casualty now. Not now, Kim. Not now.
I just got to eat oatmeal and apple. And so feel like it.
Oh. So you drink you eat oatmeal. One of them little things can get stuck on the back of your throat, one of them pieces of oats, it can make your life a little hard.
Listen, I have apples in it and walnuts
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
coconut flakes. And I think it was a coconut flake.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. So yeah, movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. So why do you think certain movies make you remember exactly what was going on? Like, why would a movie or a song or whatever, but in this particular instance, why would a movie in your life personally, why would it make you remember exactly what was happening?
I think there are many reasons why. Excuse me. Like it could just be the movie itself. Specific parts of the movie that stand out that make you have that memory. It could be the people you were watching it with. Could be what was going on with you at the specific time that makes you feel like that there's a specific memory that stays there. It could have been a significant event that took place during that movie, or while you were watching it. So I just think it's no one thing. I don't think.
Well, the reason I ask is because every movie doesn't make me remember exactly what I was doing. You understand what I'm saying? But there's
Yeah, because
some.
everyone doesn't make it.
Hmm?
I say yeah, because every movie doesn't make it.
Yeah, and some people don't really have movies where they can remember everything that happens in their life. I mean, some people can't remember exactly what was going on in their lives. Period. Some people are bad with long term memory, and some people have been through things that are tragic to the point where they may have blocked them out. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so I'm thinking like one of the things that can make you remember exactly what was going on in your life is the person that you went to the movies with, if that's how it happened, you know. So you may have gone to a movie with your first girlfriend or your first boyfriend, or um and that might make you remember exactly what was going on. You could have, it could have been like the first time you ever went to the movies. You know, some people remember the first time that they can remember going to a movie, like 3 or 4 years old. They might remember the movie, even if they don't remember everything that happened in the movie at the time. They may have seen it later on, like, oh, shoot, this is what was going on. I just was looking at the screen, you know what I mean? But, for me, there are a good amount of movies that take me back to a particular time and space where, yeah, I can remember almost everything that was happening at the time. It gets vivid. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. And I hope everybody can get into this, because I think this is a good a good exercise right here. You know what I mean? I love a little nostalgia, and when we talk about movies, movies are always full of nostalgia. The way they have to switch it, represent whatever time period that they're shooting in. So they have to. One thing that is definitely representative of eras, of all eras, are cars and buildings. and that's
Uh-huh.
and that's one of the challenges that a lot of movie makers have when filming a scene from filming scenes from movies that from a particular time period, because those buildings aren't there anymore. Like, if you shoot a movie in New York City, and at the time period that you were shooting, the Twin Towers were there, and there are no more Twin Towers. You know what I mean? So you might have to use a backdrop and do some special effects in order to make it seem like it was really shot at that time. And it's funny because when you see a movie that really was shot that at the time when the Twin Towers were there, you see the difference. You understand what I'm saying? And that can
Yeah.
that can spark nostalgia just right there. Like, we are in a ever changing and fast paced changing world. So movies are one of those things that can get us back to a place where we have been before, even if we can't stay there. We can, through our movie experiences, we can go back there again and again and again. You know what I mean? Spend some time with Granny. So, okay. So, before you came on, I was talking about when the movie Star Wars Return of the Jedi came out and how I never saw the movie. I never saw that movie. But what I remember about the movie is that my seventh grade social studies teacher went to go see the movie and she was so enamored by the movie. You know, evidently she was a big Star Wars fan and she went to go see that movie. And I swear to God, she spent that whole class session that day talking about that, you know, when she went to go see that movie. How long she had to stand in the line when she first got in there, how good the movie was. There was a baby in there crying. You know, people was like, yo, shut that baby up. You know what I mean? Because it was so packed that as soon as the movie was over, you had to get on up out of there. You wasn't getting no second. You know, those were in the days where you could stay and see a second showing if there weren't anybody, you know, there that needed to take up the seat. That wasn't going to happen. I remember what a big deal Star Wars Return of the Jedi was when it came out. And I saw that it was released on May 25th, 1983. Yeah, I remember everything that was going on around that time. I'm about to go to 8th grade. I'm in the 7th grade, about to go to the 8th grade. You know what I mean? So, you know, that same summer, Trading Places came out. And I remember going to go see Trading Places, and you know, to trade that was Eddie Murphy's second movie, and it was funny as shit. And I remember how good the movie was, and how funny we thought it was, and how the movie was filmed in Philly. And so, in the movie, the department store that was called John Wanamaker's, legendary department store in Philly, no longer there, but they were showing that building, the department store, and they had the John Wanamaker labels, you know, all covered up and shit. And we like, damn, because we just walked past there in order to go see the movie. And so it was, I went to go see it with my two next door neighbors. One, Shari, who is no longer with us, may she rest in peace. She was 2 years older than me. And Chrissy, her sister Chrissy, was a year younger than me. So the three of us went to go see Trading Places. I was 12 at the time, about to turn 13. And Shari was, if I'm about to turn 13, then she was 14, about to turn 15. And Chrissy was 11, about to turn 12. So, yeah, we had a good time downtown that day. You know what I'm saying? And 1983 wasn't a bad year. You know, it wasn't a, huh?
I said it was not.
Yeah, not for me, it wasn't. Now, and for some people, it may have been. But for me, 1983 was okay. But I remember going to go see that movie. And I remember us, you know, being downtown, going to the arcades and, you know, the candy shop and all of that shit. That was a good day. And that was a pretty good summer. So that's my movie starting off, Trading Places.
Okay. Mine is a little more serious. Because of the introduction to things I don't think I was ready for at the time, but it was a discussion to be had. And that would be the movie Roots.
Okay.
I remember y'all gathered over here at this house, and it was a conversation before the movie came on, and of course I can't remember verbatim, But I just remember in the conversation, I was like, what are we talking about? Like, what? I got friends who are different colors. What are we talking about here? And I just remember thinking, I need to sit next to my grandmother because mama is trippy. And everybody was so serious. And usually when we gather to watch movies, is laughing, fooling around, slapping thighs and all that kind of stuff. But that moment, I just remember it was dread. It felt so heavy. It just wasn't fun.
Okay.
And, I remember different things were happening, and my grandmother was covering my eyes during parts of it. My
Mm.
mother was crying. She had tears. My grandmother had tears. My uncle kind of had tears. One got up and just left the room, and he was mad.
And this at the crib.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Whose house was y'all?
Over the house I'm in now, my grandmother's house, my
Okay.
grandparents' house.
Okay. All right.
And so I just remember it was such a it was just heavy. And at the time I barely understood what they were talking about. I barely understood what was going on. I just know it was not nice stuff happening. Um, then fast forward, I got to experience some of it in real time. And I understood it a little more than what I was saying um, at such a young age. And I used to always wonder why in the hell would y'all have some kids watch that damn movie? But you get older and you realize they were trying to prepare you for what's to come, you know? And I don't know if it ever prepared me or not. I just know I did not like that one time we get, because we always got together for movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that one time together, I did not like it. And I was like, I don't want to do this ever again.
Mm. So let me ask you this. So when you saw Roots later on, after you learned a little bit more about history and slavery and quite frankly, how he plagiarized the movie, like did it still hit you? Does it still hit you as hard in 2026 to watch Roots as it did back in the day?
In a different way. Doesn't hit me as hard as being a kid and being introduced to these things. And, you know, you're naive as a kid. You're not even looking at skin. This is my friend. You got some toys, I got some toys. Let's play with some toys. I have Barbies of different ethnicities, different skin. So what are we talking about? But as an adult, looking at it now, no, it's a different mode for it, of course. And real or not, it still has some validity to it that's there that I know is realistic. So it it hits me, but not the same way. It's a different kind of feeling now. Back then there was no anger, no rage, no nothing, just confusion. But now it's a lot of whoo, child.
You know, I wish I could say that. I have never not been conscious of race ever. And I mean ever. I cannot remember a time in my life. And the earliest times in my life I can remember is like when I was about 3. I've never not known the difference between white and black. I've never not seen a difference. I've never not been cognizant of it or conscious of it ever.
Well, I know it was a difference, but I didn't know it was different.
No, I mean
Like,
culturally. I've never not felt that. Not that, and I'm not saying that I've been a victim of racism, especially as a child, but I've never not. I was born with this shit. No, I'm not even playing. I have always felt the cultural imbalance of race. I've always been able to see it. It was plain as to me. It's always been plain as day.
So my mother used to talk about it all the time, but I was like, I don't know what this lady talking about. Let me go to my grandmother's house.
I mean,
Because my mother was not a, my mother talked to me like a mini adult. She did not speak in Crayola and markers
mhm.
and stickers. She did not speak in rainbows and hearts and clouds. She spoke to me in life, real time. And so my grandparents were the buffer. And so when she started that, I'm like, ooh, I don't know what's happening. I gotta call my grandmother. I gotta go to my grandparents. Because what is happening? What is she talking about? So she was saying things then, and I was clueless. My grandfather, my grandfather, they spoke in rainbows and horses and kittens and puppies. But my mother, she spoke in life. There was no, there just were never no nice ways of her speaking to you. Not that she was these motherfucking bitches. It was never none of that, but it was straightforward.
No, I understand.
Yeah. So
I do. I get it. I do. Okay. All right. So nobody in the chat evidently has any movie experiences. So we're not gonna do the chat. So the next movie I'm gonna say that I remember. Okay. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Man, the the reason that I remember everything that was going on in life, in my life, when I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off is because it was the summer of 1986, and I spent a good portion of that summer up in Milwaukee. So we went up to Milwaukee, and I believe it was for family reunion, family reunion, and I was working for my dad, and I went up there for the family reunion, and I had to have been up there for about a month. It had to be a good month because I was staying with different aunts and uncles and all that shit. And now me and all my cousins, we teenagers now, so it's like we running shit. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
and me and my cousin, we like the three amigos. I'm the Philadelphia amigo though. They both Milwaukee amigos. So my cousin Rennie and my cousin Pino, aka Emmanuel and Fred. So we went to go see the movie, and the movie was to us it was a classic instantly. You know what I mean? So we watching a movie, and I remember like Milwaukee used to have so many pretty girls back then. I don't know what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? Like now, but back then they had some cuties, and this little chick, this little light skinned chick named Desiree, big juicy titties, and she kept promising me that she was going to give some up. That whole summer, I chased Desiree that whole summer, like, and she never did. Years later, she admitted to me that she was a virgin and she was scared. At the time, she was acting like a little hottie. But she said it was all cap. She was scared to death, and that's why she kept putting it off. All right, tomorrow. All right, tomorrow. I was like, listen, I'm going back home soon. Okay, but before you go home and blah, 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 blah. So I never got nothing. So anyway, but yeah, so we had a lot of fun that summer, because we was both hip hoppers. I'm bringing up my mixtapes from the East Coast. it was songs they never heard. They was introducing me to songs that I never heard. I never knew before I went to Milwaukee. I never knew Ice-T was a real rapper. I thought he was just a rapper that was in, break the movies, breaking and rapping. You know what I mean? So we was both, they was they was scratching and rapping and all of that. They was killing shit. And so, yeah, it was a fun summer. I'm about to turn 16. You know what I mean? Couldn't tell me shit. And yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, we went to go see that shit, and we left the movie theater like, yo, that movie is good as shit, you know. And so me and my cousin, we still talk about when we went to go see that movie because that summer '86 was monumental. So that's my second movie. What you got, Kim?
Mine would be E.T. E.T. marked the last time I was air quote one of the boys before I became a girl. Um, so always in the summer, I would go spend the summer with my cousin. And of course, I was the only girl, bunch of boys, and everything was cool. We were good. Like, with no weird stuff, with no nothing. And I remember when E.T. came out, that was because it was always the summer, we would trade off. A month he would come probably hang out at our house, and a month I'd go stay at their house before we go back to school. And it just seemed like E.T. was the very last moment of innocence, if that makes any sense. So I remember my cousin had the big, everybody come out to his house because Kim will be here for the summer. We out of school. We all gathered at his house. Me, of course, only girl. All the boys, and we just sitting around watching E.T., watching the Maze Stack. We just having a good time. And then something changed. Um, it was just a few months later, my cousin's birthday party. And of course, my mother is like, it's your cousin's birthday party. You got to put on these clothes. And these an ugly ass skirt and a blouse, cotton skirt and blouse. And I was extremely uncomfortable already wearing this crap. But when I come and get out of the car, it's like in that moment, the boys recognize Kim is a girl. And one idiot in particular, who happens to share my same last name, but we're not related, Johnny Stupid Ass, he decided he wanted to see something. So either his cousin, somebody told him, or he didn't seen Porky's or something crazy. So he waits until I come out of the house and takes the water hose and sprays me down. Now I'm already embarrassed because I have on a trainer, as it is. And now you can see through my shirt and my skirt. And I am mortified. So I go in the house and I cry, all the things, because it's different now. You want to see me like naked almost. That's how it felt to me. So I went in and changed clothes and calmed down and come back outside, and it was different. There was no more we hang out together in that moment. It was no more we hang out together. It was no more we're watching movies together. It was no more. Our very last movie together as a group was E.T. And then that changed. Because they realized she's a girl. She's not one of us. because somebody stupid wanted to prove that I was a girl and he needs to see. And it changed it. That was our last good movie. That was our last good time hanging out, just being kids without it being a separation. So for me, it was VP. It was a good movie, but it was a reminder that hey, you are a preteen.
Mm.
Life is getting ready to be different. You can't hang with these boys no more like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit currently. Not that current. Um.
What's up, Jeff?
Oh, Jeff Sprayberry was good. When I went to go see Goodfellas. Goodfellas. So when I went to go see Goodfellas, that was in 1990. Yeah, 1990. And so I was 19, about to turn 20. So we went to go see Goodfellas, and we went to this movie theater all the way out in the burbs, and we had to go on this like at 18, 19, 20, whatever. A lot of my friends had started to get cars. I didn't have one, but they did, and whatever. So, and they knew about going all the way out this we had to take this road, this highway called Route 309. And Route 309 took us out to this movie theater. It was the 309 movie theater, ironically. And it was like near Quakertown. Anyway, so we went to go see the movies, and Goodfellas was a good movie. Wasn't the best. At the time, I really didn't think it was that great. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I didn't really realize the critical acclaim that it was at the time. But I'm finishing up my second year. No, I'm finishing up my wait. So 1 year. No, I'm finishing up my first year of school. I started in spring '89, and this was in spring 1990. So I'm finishing up my first full year of college. And so, we would race down 309. You know what I mean? Whatever cars was going down 309, it was a dark highway, dark as shit. Cops wasn't never there. So we racing, and we going to 309. And we raced to get there. We raced to get back. And we all, none of us had no real money. We had like regular jobs and all that kind of stuff. We was just scrambling. We in school. And yeah, like that time in 1990, I was about to change my major. I was really thinking about what I was going to do next, because going from pre-med to now, I tooled around with political science as a major for only one semester, and then I arrived at administration of justice, and that remained my major until I graduated. And so, I got my own apartment. I'm broke as shit because the job that I had wasn't paying. It wasn't really paying nothing, and I was only going part-time because I'm going to school full-time, and really struggling in school, just trying to stay afloat. And so, little things like going to the movies. And I don't remember going to go see no other movies during that time. That's why I remember that we went to go see Goodfellas. And I don't think we went to go see it like opening night or whatever. We might have went to, if you remember back then, opening night was a big thing, but not necessarily the weekend. You know what I mean? They talk about the weekend numbers now. We didn't think about. Sometimes movies used to get released during the week. You know what I'm saying? So, all that weekend shit, that lets you know how much things have changed because of streaming and all of that kind of shit. To whereas now they don't talk about how much it made overall, and movies don't stay in the movies for years like they used to. Remember, like you brought up E.T. Remember, E.T. was in the movies for more than a year.
It seemed like forever.
It was
Because
because
I know we saw it like 3 times.
so that's what I'm saying. Like E.T. came out what the summer of 1982. E.T. was still out summer 83. And remember, if you remember, they didn't let E.T. come out on VHS.
Mm-mm.
So if you ain't see E.T., you ain't see E.T. You know what I mean? But yeah, Steven Spielberg played no games. You know? So, but anyway, back to the Goodfellas thing. Like, I didn't know that it was such a big deal movie. You know what I mean? And I didn't know about Robert De Niro, and I wasn't familiar with that. I wasn't. It was that movie that I found out that people follow actors and actresses. Like, I was like, does it matter who's in the movie? Doesn't it matter whether the movie is good or not? I didn't know. I was so oblivious to certain things. Even though I went to the movies a lot, it wasn't about the actors that were in the movies. I was like, what difference do that make? I mean, don't you have to be good just to be in a movie? I didn't know. I, I didn't make the connection like I now with singers I would say nah such and such got to sing, that's such and such song, they got to sing it. But with actors I didn't know. And what's weird about that is that I've always been into the theater, but it was certain things that went right over my head because my man was Robert De Niro. He was naming these actors that were in the movies. I was like, who the fuck is Robert De Niro? Like, I didn't read the credits. I was like, God damn. He's talking about Joe Pesci and all. I'm like, what the? Who? What was his name in the movie? That's what I need to know. So, I didn't. I never paid attention to what actors were in certain movies. I knew actors, names of certain actors, but I never connected them with being the catalyst that made the movie good. I never got that because sometimes they weren't in good movies. So I'm like, well, why didn't they fix that one? Mm-hmm. If he's so good, if she's so good, well, why couldn't they fix that movie? That movie sucked. Do I give the credit to that actor now? So anyway, but yeah, that's what was going on with Goodfellas. That's what's going on. What was going on in my life in Goodfellas? I had my own apartment. I didn't have to pay rent in the apartment, but I had to keep the lights on. I had to keep my phone on. I had to eat. I had to wash my clothes and shit like that. And the shit was a struggle. That shit was a struggle. I didn't have no air conditioning. I lived on the third floor. It was a third floor. It was a triplex. When I tell you it was hot as shit up in that was my apartment. I lived in for 10 years from July 19th, from July 19th, 1989 till Christmas Eve, or should I say Christmas Day, year 2000. So yeah, really 1999. From 1989 to 1999. And yeah, I never had no air conditioning in that fucking apartment. When I tell you I used to be hot, woo! I used to sleep on the floor because it was cooler. You know what I mean? I had all of these windows in this apartment, so it was sort of like a what do you call the house when it's when they have the windows that it's like 3 windows, 2 on the side, 1 in the front? What do you call that? It was made sort of like that, but because the apartment was on the corner, so I had 2 windows on this street and like 6 windows on this side. So the apartment got a lot of light. And so that light was like that sun. And so I would be in there baking. Straight the fuck up. Hot as shit in the summertime. Nobody wanted to come over my crib in the summertime. You know what I mean? Like I come over at night on a cool night.
Like
So
I catch you November 13th.
straight like that. But oh, by the way, the apartment was cold as shit in the wintertime. But anyway, it wasn't exactly energy efficient, you know. But yeah, that's my movie that takes me back to 1990. Goodfellas.
Okay. One of my movies would be Funny Farm. I don't know what year that movie came out. Let me see. But that's the movie with Chevy Chase and Dabney Coleman. No, I'm sorry. No, that's not the right movie. That's Chevy Chase and what is her? Was it Shelley? Is her Shelley Duvall? Let me see. I think her name is Shelley. I think it's Shelley Duvall. I feel like I'm saying the wrong name. Anyway, the movie Funny Farm takes me back to one of the times when my cousin and I were great. We were really good. 1988, that's what it was. And I'm preparing to go to high school soon. You know, she wouldn't be going with me, but we were just getting the last of our good times in. And so my mother had a date that night. And so the date was at the drive-in. And so they drove two cars. So um, my cousin and I could be in one car and go see what we want to see. And they were in another car with my brothers seeing whatever movie they wanted to see. We wanted to see Funny Farm. And I think it was Funny Farm and seems like it was Trading Places or whatever the double feature was, something with Eddie Murphy. I know
Okay.
that. So we were in my mother's car, and that movie was so funny. We laughed so hard, and so like you could hear us laughing through the area, but everybody was laughing so hard. You could just it was just everybody laughing and having a good time. But I remember in the movie, the one part my cousin was stuck on for years after, and she would just crack up laughing about it, is because in this scene, like the premise of the movie is this couple, they go, I can't remember completely, but I know it's something about they go move to this little town and they get a farm and they have big dreams of owning this land and raising their own food, growing their own things, milking cows and all this kind of stuff.
Mm,
So they're in this place and, they meeting the town people and all that. And it's a quirky little town.
okay.
And so Chevy Chase goes into this diner and he's like, oh, what do y'all have to eat? What's popular? And so they tell him the name of something and it's something, something balls. And so, well, no, they don't say balls. I'm sorry. It's something, something. So they bring it out and he's eating a plate of whatever it is and he is just smashing. And so now people will start gathering around and they counting how many of them he's eating. And he's all grinning and cheesing. His wife is cheesing, having a good time. Town people, boy, you were putting them away. You eat so many of them. He ate more than so and so and so. Remember how many he ate? They saying all this different stuff. So as he's eating, he's just grinning. He finally says, what does so and so and so mean? What am I eating? And just casually said, shit balls. And he just, everything just comes flying out of his mouth. And when they said sheep balls, my cousin lost her shit. She could not stop laughing. and she had just took a sip of her soda, so it's coming out of her nose,
Oh
and she's
shit.
choking, and she's laughing, and I can't help her because I'm laughing, and I'm thinking she's gonna die in this car.
Wow.
I can't even get my mama because we over here both laughing, and man, that was just a good night. The double feature, I don't even remember what Eddie Murphy movie it was, but Funny Farm was hilarious. We laughed through
I
the whole
remember that movie
movie.
Funny Farm. Okay.
And then Eddie Murphy came on. We laughed at that. We just had a good time. And my mother was the type who always loaded the cars full of stuff to go to the drive-in. Y'all not gonna buy this food. I'm gonna make sandwiches and make big brown bags full of popcorn and bring a cooler with drinks and all that stuff. So we always had whatever we wanted to eat and drink in there. And I remember it was another car next to us, and it was an older couple, and they had like their grandchildren or something with them. And now we got blankets and sitting on the hood of the car, laid out on the hood of the car, and they were out there in their car, and the grandmother made cookies or something like that. So it's offered it, and it was just everybody was just getting along. It was just a great time, and laughing and watching it. It was a good time to be had.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eddie Murphy movie, of course, it was some mature conversation in there. And I remember the grandmother was like, "Oh no, no, no! Young ladies shouldn't be listening to this. No, let's go get your mom. Let's go get your mom." Like, girl, why I'ma talk like this? So, that was one of those that Funny Farm was one of the ones. And I don't talk to that cousin now, but that is one of the best. If I was to say I missed anything about not communicating with her, I missed that moment. Like that was a great
Yeah,
time to
I
be
hear
had.
that. Hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. We start talking about movies, and people that you saw movies with, the things that was going on at the time. You know what I mean? Like the crazy thing is, just like breaking up with an ex or whatever. Sometimes, sometimes the memories of sometimes y'all are gone enough to remember nothing but the good times, and sometimes that makes you mistakenly get back with a person. Like you're going to relive some of those good times, and then when you get back with them, they quickly remind you of who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And you get quickly reminded that it ain't all fun and games and shit. And they ain't changed at all. So yeah, you
It's
got
like, oh God, thank you, this happened.
man, you got to be careful of memories, boy. Memories will sometimes put you exactly where you don't want to be. Um, but that was a good story. People in the chat, do me a favor if y'all if y'all could put y'all movies in there and just like put whatever you liked about. All right, we're talking about movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. So if you could put like a little fun fact or a little something interesting, a caveat in the chat along with your movies, I would appreciate it. The actors and all of that. Yeah, y'all already know. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I do now, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, if y'all could just like Jeff, you put Top Gun, you put Lethal Weapon, like if you could say like whatever was going on with you. I don't care if you say, well, yeah, I was in the eighth grade. You know what I'm saying? It was all lunchtime and recess for me. Whatever. Just put a little fact of your life in the chat along with the movie. I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Okay. So the next movie I'm going with is Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. Lord. Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. So here it is. Summer of 1988. Just got out of high school, baby. On my way to college. You know what I mean? I'm working at the hottest clothing store in the city. I got the world in the palm of my hands. You know what I'm saying? Big ass high top fade or whatever. Um, yeah, my whole life is in front of me. Literally, literally, my whole life is in front of me. 1988, still living at the crib. Um, so we went to go see Coming to America, and my brother, I went to go see it with my big brother, and when, before we got in the movies, he said, "Hey, yo, oh, you want to try this Valium?" And I was like, "Valium,
Volume.
yo." I was I I was a clean body at 17 years old. I wasn't 18 yet. You know, this is a summer before my birthday. So I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, and I definitely didn't use drugs. But I did look up to my big brother. And my big brother was like, I got a little one. Like this one ain't gonna, this ain't, you know, this ain't gonna really do nothing. I was like, Valium, a V? I was like, arm wouldn't fuck me up. I pops that fucking Valium at the beginning of Coming to America. How about I didn't see nothing but the beginning of Coming to America? I slept I slept through the whole motherfucking movie of Coming to America, and he had to wake me up at the end of Coming to America. Like, yo, come on, you all right? I was like, yeah. I got outside. It's like the world is spinning. My legs is all mad groggy. I am high. And that shit it ain't had no off button. I was like, yo, I'm fucked up. This, what did you give me? He was like, damn, you know what? I should have cut it in half. I shouldn't have gave you the whole thing. I was like, man, don't worry about it. You just gotta get me to the crib. I'm like, my shit was volume is nothing but a muscle relaxer, right? Well, I was relaxed. You know, I went home, I went right to bed, slept the whole night. I think I was late for work and everything. I was fucked up. I was like, what the hell is you? What kind of shit? Am I strung out? You know, look, you know, this is 1988. This is 1988. You know what I mean? The crack era, all crazy, crack, AIDS. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop. That was 1988 for me. Crack, AIDS, and hip hop. That's all I knew. So, yo, man, I was so fucking high. I've never taken another Valium again, but and you got to understand how thin I was in '88. I wore a 28 waist. And I had room. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could have fit into 27. I chose 28. That's how small I was in '88. So yeah, it was. Whoo! That shit was crazy. I'm on the subway. All like,
That's crazy.
It was crazy as shit. And me and my brother worked at the same clothing store, but not the same, and not the one at the same location. So he worked at the City Blue at like 13th and Market. I worked at the City Blue at 3rd and Market. So I'm like, listen, when I got to work, I was like, listen, I got into something last night. So if I'm moving a little slow today, y'all gonna have to just bear with me. Y'all lucky I came in today, because and then I had to go see Coming to America again because I missed everything. I kind of remember subliminally, I heard people laughing. They coming out of the theater like, yo, that shit was crazy. Yo, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, I was fucked up. I didn't see. I didn't see. I think I had to go see Coming to America like two more times, but just because I didn't see it the first time. I mean, nothing. They was like, "Yo, you want to go see Coming to America?" Because going to go see a movie was a big deal. So if you were to go
It
see it before,
was.
yeah,
It was.
yeah. So if you were to go see like a popular movie before somebody, it was like it was a big conversation point. You know what I mean? Some people wanted you to tell you everything that happened in the movie. Some people didn't because if they were going to go see it themselves, so they like, yo, you want to go see Coming to America? I was like, yeah, but I can't tell you nothing about it until I go see it again. You want to go see it again? Because once I sober up, I'm gonna go see the shit again. I heard it was all that. I ain't see that shit. That shit was so fucking crazy, but I wasn't mad at my big brother. He could do no wrong. Well, yeah. Yeah. He had his flaws, you know what I mean? But that was my big brother. He always held it down for me, and but he gave me a value. He might as well have slipped me a Mickey. I was fucked up. Fucked up proper. Carla, what's going on? Carla and B Rent, what's going on? How y'all feeling? So we talking about movies that make you remember exactly what was going on in your life at the time. So if y'all would be so kind, please put in the comments your movies and any caveat, any tidbit, any point of information that you would like to be shared about when you want to go see a movie that makes you remember exactly what was happening at the time, because how movies make you very very nostalgic. They can you get to remembering people that were in your life at the time, events that were going on in your life at the time. Like sometimes if fucked up shit was happening in your life, but you remember going to go see this movie, that movie might have been your only salvation at the time. That might have been your only bright spot at the time. So we want to hear about it. You know what I mean? Let us know. And you don't have to limit it to a little caveat. If you want to write a whole paragraph about what was going on in your life or whatever, man, I mean, put it in there. I think you're limited it to a certain amount of characters. Put it on another line. We'll read it. So let me see. Do we have anything? Yeah, that's Carla. Let me see. Send me this. Okay. Carla says, I liked weird movies, The Shining and Jack Nicholson. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. 1980, November, The Shining. Check that date. I don't know what you talking about. All right. My life was weird because I was pregnant with my daughter. Okay. Cool. All right. So Kim, what's your movie?
My next movie would be House Party, the first one. The most memorable moment, I've talked about it before, was walking in the theater, my cousins and I, and it was packed. And walking in, and it was everybody from other schools and everybody all together in there. And it was just one of those moments when it seemed like all the teenagers around the city were sharing the experience together without animosity. Because usually, there's always some kind of fight going on because you were in different schools, different parts of town.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was some about House Party was magical. Because we stepped in there and you felt like a celebrity, because my other cousins who were going to another school, I heard my name get called out. And of course, I don't know you're talking about me till my full name was called out. And I'm looking, and it's my cousin, and she way on the other side, screaming and waving. And then it's just everybody, from the neighborhood just out. I didn't know you was coming to see it. You should tell we could have came together, that kind of stuff. And everybody's just talking and laughing and having a good time. And next thing you know, the lights go down, and now you hear, oh yeah, and Luther's playing, and
Wow. Okay.
everybody was up on their feet, dancing and singing, and the ushers tried to come in, and they were useless because it was a party after that,
Wow.
and everybody was talking and laughing through the movie, but it wasn't like everybody, oh, shut up, be quiet, was none of that because everybody was talking, laughing. Like it was a big ass party going on in the movie theater. And that was like the best. It just was a great, great, great moment because it was,
Mm.
there was no fight, there was no arguing, there was no nothing. Just a bunch of kids, young people having a good ass
Having a good
time, watching
time.
a
That's what's
good
up.
movie, listening to good music, and everybody came out smiling and laughing and just joking. And my cousin, I met some young men in there, and we all laughed and had a good time. And in the summer, just we rolled into the summer and we hung out with them all summer. We were all friends. It just was cool. It just was a good time.
All right. So, House Party came out in 1990. So you was like 18, about to turn 19.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what's up. Yeah,
yeah.
House Party was the shit.
My son.
Everybody was talking about that movie. Everybody was talking about that movie House Party that summer. You know what I mean? 1990 was a crazy year. That was
It was,
that was some pivotal shit. 1990. 1990. That 1990 changed a lot. Printed
well,
printed
that
rayon
same
shirts,
year
baggy ass
when
jabos and Guess jeans, house music, jumping off, all crazy shit. Yeah,
now I don't know how to do for me,
I mean, you know what I
but I
mean.
remember
I'm not praising it. You know how I feel about some goddamn house music.
that.
But that's what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
But you know
Doc
what's
Martin
crazy
shoes and
because
shit.
that's the year, like while we were out having a good time, my son's father was he was being an adult, doing adult stuff. Like I'm at the movies having a good time, and he is dealing with war. You know, that was the turning point, I think, for him because he went from kid to Marine overnight. And he was still good at that moment. Like that, it just feels like that was probably the last of the moment when he was normal
Mm.
before being introduced into insanity.
Wait, so he was in Desert Storm?
Yeah,
Well, Desert Storm didn't happen until the end of 1990, though.
yeah, and that's when. So that's what I'm saying. That was the last. Like during that time, he was good. We was writing letters and talking on the phone, and everything was good. Then all of a sudden, he came home and didn't know I was pregnant, and
Oh shit.
he went back. And 1 minute we're talking on the phone and everything is good, and then the next thing you know, he's saying, "Hey, I might not come back because this is what's happening." And it just changed. It was different. Like we went from good to what the hell?
Okay. They said Operation Desert Storm took place from January 17th, 1991 to February 28th, 1991. Okay.
Like it was longer than that.
Well, I mean, they measure the operation by what they considered their objectives to be accomplished at.
Yeah, because
So
that's not
they definitely
that ain't
flew. They
accurate.
definitely fought longer than that. But the
Yeah.
operation itself, like they had a little bit of occupation over there, but they didn't. Saddam stayed in place, and he pretty much conceded the war, and that's why it was over. So
I
that's
just remember him being on the front line and calling me and telling me all these weird things that was going on. And saying he had seen a scorpion and it just was, saw somebody kill somebody, and it just was a lot.
Mm,
And then one day, his mom had called my mother and was like, they hadn't heard from him, and she wanted to know if I had heard from him. And then they were just like, I'm saying, I talked to him and then the phone went dead, but I didn't hear anything else. And then after that, it was, now we're facing the reality of worry.
mm.
And then I just found out I was pregnant. So I'm just like, I'm pregnant by somebody who may never come home again. And what is happening? So,
Yeah, we did have some casualties in Operation Desert Storm, but it was a pretty clean. It was a pretty clean, John. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but um, yeah, war is war, and you know, I had a few, I had a few friends who fought in Desert Storm too, and that was the first time we ever fought a war that way. You know what I'm saying? So that would that was the first time that we had like tan fatigues. You know what I'm saying? Like fatigues were for the jungle. This is out there in the
Yeah.
desert. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was different. It was different. All right, cool. Uh, Carla says Beetlejuice reminded her of a dude who liked me, but I didn't like him. He kind of looked like Beetlejuice. Ooh, Lord.
That was such a good movie.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Now here's the crazy one. The next movie I'm going to go with is Grease. Grease came out in 1978. I was 8 years old. Wait. I was 7, going on 8. And this is what was going on in my life that summer, that hot ass summer of 1978. In 1978, starting to think like 78 was a crazy summer, 88 was a crazy summer, 98 was a crazy summer, 2008, 18. Huh, I'm seeing a pattern here. But anyway, in 78, I was a little kid. We went to go see Grease. We went to go see Grease the whole summer of 78. When I tell you that we paid to see Grease about 10 times, no bullshit.
Oh,
We
okay.
Grease is the only movie I saw in 78. We saw it once, we saw it twice, we saw it, we kept going to see Grease. Then I bought the Grease fucking, they had like a pop-up, no, like a thought bubble Grease book with the whole dialogue in Grease. So I knew all of the, but because I saw Grease so many times that summer, like every time my mom asked us, "Oh, y'all going to the movies again? What y'all gonna see?" Grease. I didn't see no other movie that I don't know if I saw another movie that year. I did. All right, that year.
Mhm.
That year because Halloween came out later on that year. But yeah, Grease the whole summer. Now, there were so many things going on that summer. Um, that summer would see the separation of my mom and my god family. My god brother Tony shot a dude who lived 2 doors down from me. My god family lived across the street from me. Now, mind you, we didn't live in no bad neighborhood, whatever. But it is what it is. Jamie did some shit to Tony. Jamie was a fat boy that lived around the way. He was a tough guy. He was a bully. He was not a good guy. He was a thief. He everything bad. Jamie represented it. You know what I mean? Just all around bad guy. And Tony wasn't having it. Tony shot the bull. Didn't kill him, but he shot him. He shot him sitting on the steps right across the street from where he lived. His fat ass ran because Tony shot him with a small gun. But the war was on after that. They lived 2 doors down from us, and and their family was crazy. Now they warring with the Corbins and the Hugheses. The Hugheses was Jamie's family. My God family were the Corbins. Now, up until then, um, Tony's mom. Now, by the way, these are adults. These aren't teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
let's get that straight. Tony is like in his 20s, Army vet and all of that shit. Um, Thin dude, sickle cell, afflicted with sickle cell that would eventually that would claim his life in 1999. Um, uh, you wasn't going to bully Tony. Tony wasn't no punk. You know what I mean? No, not a big dude, not a tough acting dude, but Tony would get you up out of here. He had a real bad temper. He only really focused his temper on those who would try to play. But anyway, so that's what was going on our block. Miss Barbara, who was Tony's mom, expected my mom to go to war with their family against Jamie and them. And my mom is like, all of my kids are young. Your kids are older. You got family up in West Philly that'll come down and ride for you. I'm by myself. It ain't even my beef. So, yeah. So my mom forbid me to go back, to deal with them because they wasn't cool like that no more. But I'm like, that's my God family, and I'm only 7, 8 years old. Plus, my cousin Lolita had came down to Philly from Milwaukee to spend the summer with us. She seen all this shit. That block was so hot that summer, and here we are going to go see Grease again.
Yeah, we gonna go see the dancing movie.
And that's when you a kid and you not really in that shit. You know what I mean? It was tense. We didn't.
I don't give a damn what they do. I just need to go see John Travolta and his wife see child choke each other out with brown hair.
I would be over my God family's house. Jamie and them would be calling them, hanging up, calling to see if they was there. It was a mess. It was a mess that summer of 78. I missed the summer of 78. Well, it was the good and the bad and the ugly. You know what I mean? Like, nothing bad happened to me. And I was going from public school to Episcopal school. And yeah, Grease. We go together like boom, boom. Yeah. Along with pew, pew. Yo, we gonna kill your fucking ass. I'm telling you, we see you out here. Oh my God. That beef went on for like a couple of years. It was crazy. Crazy. And Tony shot Jamie. No snitching. Ain't nobody go to the cops. That was a personal thing. And that was what was so wild and crazy about it. You know what I mean? He took the shot, healed up, and I believe Tony shot him point blank. But he shot him with a little gun. It probably was like only like a 25 or a 22. You know what I'm saying? Jamie fat ass. That's it. When it ain't take him out. But yeah, that's what happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that didn't stop me from hand jiving. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Born a hand jive. Oh. I ain't seen no other movie. I ain't seen no other movie except for Grease the whole fucking summer.
Um, so my other movie would be Malcolm X, and that's about the time when it just was a lot of stuff happening in the city. It was it was me becoming a new mom and realizing that this is bullshit and what the hell. This is nothing like I thought it was gonna be. And really recognizing that, some of these things they said were meant for were really not. Um, and that's about the time my mother was even more aggressive about talking about this state in particular, because now she has a grandson she's concerned about, and it's let's have these talks. You have a little black boy, and you need him to be prepared to navigate this place if you plan to stay here. And Malcolm X came out.
Mm.
My kid had to be about a year because he was still little. And I remember watching it with my mother.
Okay.
And that's the first time I really saw this lady is militant. Like, what? Like, she was a different person. And I was like, that's what it is.
I prefer the word conscious.
Huh?
I prefer the word conscious.
Okay. She was whatever it was you want to call it. But that's the first time I really saw it. And I mean, really, like I heard it my whole life, but it was something about her grandson that took her over the top. It she felt it for her kids, I'm sure, but when that baby came, she was a different monster. Like, at all costs, we are protecting him. He is the king, he's the prince, and we are going to protect him. And so I had always interacted with my mother with, like, kung fu theater movies and horror movies, kid movies, stuff like that. The only other time I seen her emotional in a movie like that was, of course, when we saw Roots. And even then, she really didn't have a lot to say. It was more anger and rage. But when we saw Malcolm X together, I was like, this is mini Angela Davis right here. What? Lady, I didn't know. She was so pressed about everything. Like, you don't let it, when you start reading this book to him, and it just was everything. And it was almost an overload of stuff. And it was a great movie because I think I saw it like 20 times. Um, but it made me look at things different as well. It made me look at being a mother different. It made me look at my surroundings different. It made me look at the people around me different. And it made me more aggressive about my looks and how I fit into the world. Because, for a while it was people questioned. And especially when I was in school, it was always an issue. And when we had to get bussed out to township school, it was some issues there because people weren't sure sometimes what I was. And so when this movie came out, I just remember, like, we couldn't joke about it no more. There were no more jokes about my skin. There were no more jokes about what my place was. There were no more jokes about it for me. And it definitely wasn't any about my kid. It was, listen, this is the A. I may not be as dark as you, but I'm as black as you. And it just changed things a lot. Not in a bad way. It just made me even more arrogant and prideful about my place, about my history, my heritage, my culture. It just made it different. But it made my mother and I, we bonded tighter over that because now she felt like now she could talk to me about a bunch of stuff. Like she had it built up inside and she was waiting for me to grow up so she could tell me. And it was in that moment she was like, woo, like she could let it all out. Girl, let me tell you. And she just dumped it out, all the information, like she had been waiting to say it to me. So everything she had taught me up until that point was just light work. But in that moment after that, she was like, and this. And it's like I got a history lesson in overdrive after that. So, and it was just a great bonding moment with my mom. Malcolm X.
Yeah. There was Malcolm X was an important movie. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, what was that, 1992? I think
Yeah, I think so.
if it wasn't 92, it was 93 at the
Yeah,
latest.
my son was very young. He was still
Mm.
little.
So um, the the social and political climate at that time, you know what I mean? It was like a breeding ground for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So with all of the funding the external funding that Spike had to get in order to complete the movie, Denzel had to do the movie on a discount. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
shit going on. There was a lot of shit going on, but that was such an important movie at the time. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X should make most people, especially black people, it should make them really remember what was happening at the time it came out. Because there was a lot of hype around the movie, and it lived up to it. One of the few movies that lived up to every fucking advertisement. Like, wow, this shit delivered. It didn't fall
Yeah.
flat at any point. Like, he put his foot in that movie for real. He covered all
It was
bases.
amazing. It
Mm-hmm.
was amazing without a lot of cinematography. It the soundtrack was amazing. Like they nailed that in every aspect. The costume, the acting, the soundtrack, the scenes, everything was perfect. Every part of it was perfect.
Yeah. So yeah. Um, yeah. I remember everything that was going on in my life when I saw Malcolm X too. And that was one, like, I actually cried in that movie. Like, yo, I really didn't want you know, some movies, you don't want the end to end. Like, I read the book, I knew exactly how it was going to end. I was like, yo, they need to change this shit. Somehow
Yeah,
he need to make it. Like Malcolm X and Scarface, they needed to have survived
yeah.
it. But yeah,
But even the book just didn't prepare you for seeing what you saw.
it
Just
over
didn't
it over
prepare you.
prepared me because that book changed my life. I read that book. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X when I was 17. That shit changed everything for me. Everything. Everything. I was already on some pro black shit. But after that, that was literally the point of no return for me. It was literally the point of no return. Like, because it was the confirmation. It was like, I told you. I told you. I knew it. I knew it. I fucking knew it. But yeah, good movie. Hell of a time.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Clay Biggins. Okay, wait. Carla said flash dance because you couldn't tell me I wasn't a dancer with my hot pink leg warmers on. And Clay Biggins said that's such a dichotomy of American life. Folks in Philly shooting and dying, yet the children going to see the whitest movie in America. Happy days. Oh man. All right, hold on. Let me see. All right, Time says 1978, we had the biggest blizzard in Massachusetts. Everything was shut down. We were jumping off neighbor's second floor porch into the snow. God damn. Whew. Now that sounds scary. I don't know what's under that snow. You know what I mean? Let me see. Tom says, was there nothing like Roots as a young man looking at Chicken George, the first real hustler back in them days? How about that? He sure was.
He really was.
Yeah. Cornbread Earl and me. Y'all better stop playing. Woo, yeah. One of definitely a classic. Clay says, son, you must have thought Travolta was the man in the 77 and 78. Oh, wait, you must have thought Travolta was the man in 77 and 78. He was scorching during those years. Yes, he was. Coming off the heels of Saturday Night Fever. Then Grease. What? Yeah, John Travolta was unstoppable. All right. Carla said, "Oh my God, not the Cornbread Earl and Me joint." Yeah, that was a good ass movie. Tom said, "Big facts. My brother went to school in Philadelphia when he was 16 or 17. Came back to Boston, went to Tennessee University, and back to Philadelphia." Okay. And Clay says the autobiography and message to the black man were headbangers for a young brother. Yeah, what? You think they wasn't when they was? Man, autobiography. Like I said, that movie. I mean, that book changed my life. I read it and read it and read it. I reread it. I was like, damn. There are two books that I felt were written so well that you could see you could see the illustration through their writing. That was an autobiography of Malcolm X. And for me, it was Pimp by Iceberg Slim. He wrote the shit out of that fucking book. I was like, never thought of pimping this way. Like Donald Goins, you just hear about, slapping bitches up and robbing motherfuckers and shooting. You know what I mean? Like, Iceberg Slim, he talking about the essence, the psychology of pimping. Like, oh, so this is why it happens. And this is the method. Like it was like he knew exactly what girls were going to go for this and which one. Like, oh, yeah. Iceberg Slim wasn't no joke. All right. My next movie, Purple Rain. When Purple Rain came out, that was 1984, the worst year of my life. As far as I'm concerned, the worst year ever. Nothing in my life was going well when I went to go see Purple Rain.
Okay.
No, I'm dead serious. I flunked the 8th grade. I was suffering from like panic attacks and shit like that. For me, flunking anything was like kind of unacceptable. But flunking a whole grade, like I knew people who flunked a grade before, and I was like, how the fuck you do that? Like, how does that happen? How can that happen? And then it happened to me. And it was like, Like, imagine your biggest fear being getting cancer. And you go to the doctor, and what do you got? You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like to me. By the way, my biggest fear is cancer. But you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I was there like, oh my gosh, my heart is starting
like I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But you know, like you know, you know what we've been through with cancer. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, flunking like what? So all of my classmates are going to high school, and I'm not. All of my classmates are going on a school trip, and I'm not. All of my classmates are going to this graduation party, and I'm not. Like my shit, I was in a world of shit for real, for real. Like I was fucked up, fucked up. Then I went to go see Purple Rain, and to be honest with you, I liked the movie, but I couldn't enjoy the movie. There was too much going on at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there was so much going on in 1984. It's hard. Like for me, it sounds like I'm just over bitching. It sounds like I'm exaggerating. No gas on in the house. Winter cold as shit. You know what I mean? That had like a real big impact on my social life. I ain't want nobody to come over the crib. You know, the crib cold. You know, kerosene heaters, carrying them big ass 5-gallon cans of kerosene heater. Like what the fuck? We went from riches to rags. You know, most people go from rags to riches. We went from riches to rags. The shit was crazy. It was crazy. It like nothing was going right. Nothing was going right, and it wasn't like on welfare or nothing like that. My mom went to work every day, and my stepdad. So there was money, but that gas bill was high as shit. And so, it was just a lot going on in 84. So that summer was undisputedly the worst summer I ever, I ever went through in my life and shit. It was terrible. But it was all on some old psychological shit. If I was a little mentally stronger, like on some old, oh, we can make it through this shit. Like, yeah, it would have been different. Because at this time, I didn't have no brothers. I met my brothers and shit later on in 1984. Mm-hmm. That shit was wild as hell. I didn't have no brothers, no knowledge of no brothers, and no shit like that. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, my sister and my half brother. You know, I'm only saying that so for identification purposes, we don't talk like that. But yeah, they went to the same high school. He knew about us. We never knew about him. And he introduced himself to my sister, and that pretty much set off the powder keg. So my pop just admitted to all other kids that he had while we were in therapy.
Oh, whoa.
He said shit was fucking bonkers.
By the way, since we having this conversation, let me let y'all in on this little secret.
Hey,
this little kid I forgot to tell you.
He had been wanting to tell us for years. And, it was his dirty secret. So once the cat was out the bag, he was like, all right. My pop being the way he was like, all right, look, he's not the only one. You got 3 brothers in West Philly. I don't know, your mom know about the one that's your sister's age. And, we lost contact with him, years ago. I always wonder where he is or whatever. His mom. But anyway, so it was like, yeah. Down. Boom. Never meant to call you anymore. Yeah. Fucking Purple Rain was all I had at the time. That's all the fuck I
You sit
had.
there really feeling the movie more than anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not really. Like the shit that Prince was going through. I'm like, whatever. At least you got a motorcycle in a guitar. Yeah. Nigga, you up on stage, you got the world at your feet, you're successful. I just flunked the 8th grade. My life is fucking over. That's how I felt. My life is over. Never recover from this shit. Totally humiliated. I mean, this shit was fucked up. But that whole year, I couldn't get it together. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever been through anything like that, but like I could not get it together. And
Ow!
but but it's different. But now that I'm old, as I got older, I understood what was going on. I was going through puberty.
Yeah,
That's all it was. I was going through puberty, and this shit was throwing me body blows. You know what I'm saying? Nobody explained this shit to me. Like, nigga, you just gotta calm down. There's a whole lot of hormonal activity going on, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be all right. I ain't had nobody to tell me it was gonna be all right. Nobody said it was going. Nobody, like nobody said, "Oh, it's gonna be all right, man." For me, that's literally all you got to do. But like,
them people back then, they didn't give a shit about us. They didn't help us with nothing. They didn't prepare us for this stuff. They think they did, but they did not. If I could tell my mother right now, lady, you failed. She did not prepare me for this stuff.
all they had to say was, "Yo, oh, everything will be all right. Just calm down, man. Cool your
No,
heels. It's not the worst thing. You didn't invent the wheel on this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's happening to you, but you're not the only one that is happening to. There are other people that have been through it, and you'll get through it too. That's all. That's all I needed. You know what I mean?
them people then didn't do that. They didn't. They didn't even
I
believe
don't
in
think.
half copies
No,
like that.
no. It wasn't like that. I don't come from a non-supportive background, but just because people are supportive, that don't mean that they always have the formula for you.
Yeah.
What I needed was to be told that everything was going to be all right. That's all. But they didn't know that's all I needed. You know what I mean? I didn't need nobody to fight for me. I didn't need nobody to do. I just needed somebody to let me know, like, yo, it's gonna be all right, man. Just chill. Yo, come with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's gonna be cool.
Your
So,
dad was like, I told you what I told you. That's the end of it.
well, I'm just saying, you know, I was
Now you know.
I don't come from a background where I wasn't able to express myself or nothing like that. I don't have that excuse. So, um, but that doesn't mean that they always knew what to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When your child is going crazy and you ain't used to somebody going crazy, it's like, oh shit. I don't, ooh, ooh. You know what I mean? Get them a video game or some shit like that. They don't know. You know what I mean? They ain't know.
That's no place to
I was a fucking weirdo. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking melting down. And it wasn't no real reason for it. But the reason was puberty. I didn't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm over there going batshit. All right. Let me see.
Okay. So take my glass off for a minute. My movie at that time was Love Jones. So,
Okay.
and whew, so it was a group of us who all hung together for years, a lot of us. And male and female, but it was like no couples or hooking up or nothing like that. But it was something developing and between one of the guys and myself, we just never made a move on it. But Love Jones, when that movie came out, we all went to see it, and I remember we were in the theater, and usually we all just in there having a good time at the movies, just acting crazy, doing all this stuff. Um, but I remember this time in particular, I took and rubbed his hand across my hand, just real slow, like I said, okay. And so afterward, he invited me to go to spoken word because behind the scenes, that's what none of us knew. So he invited me to go with him, and I'm like, oh man, how come you didn't tell anybody? Blah blah blah. He's like, you know how we are. We don't take kindly to new stuff. We kind of make people feel bad when they're doing something different than the hide. And so he's like, you right, da da da. You should come and do it too. You want nobody know it'll be our little secret. I won't tell if you won't tell. Okay. So we went and I got involved in spoken word after that. And I remember some of us went to see uh, Love Jones again. And we're watching it, and he and I got this secret, like we doing something different than everybody else, and it felt so good to have a secret just between the two of us.
Mm.
But I think the biggest secret was there was something there. But we were afraid to move on it just because we have all been friends. This is the group. This is nobody messes with nobody in the group. We like family in this group. But shoot, we share no blood, so we was feeling each other a little bit. Nobody wanted to make a move. And I remember, I seemed like we've seen Love Jones like a million times. We just had money to spend stupidly, it felt like. It felt like we saw movies more than one often. And it's like, where would we get money to do that? That was dumb of us. Um, but it seemed like we went to see it again.
Well, first of all, movies didn't cost that much. They didn't break you.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you could afford to go to the movies multiple times. It's that shit
Yeah,
ain't like now. You know what I mean? With even with the cost of the snacks, you could afford to go to the movies if you couldn't afford to go do shit. The movies were never meant to break you. It's a
yeah.
different time now. Anyway, go ahead.
But we went to see it again. I guess it's the third or fourth time now. And I remember I had left out to go to the bathroom. And when I came out, he was standing there and he kissed me. And I'm like, uh-oh. What are we doing here? And I'm awkward when it comes to certain things. Like that flirt and all that kind of stuff. I'm oblivious to it sometimes. And so I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know how to take it. So I'm embarrassed because he's embarrassed, and He thought I thought it was a bad thing, and it wasn't that. It was just I was awkward, and nothing ever came from it. He never said anything afterward. He never made a move anymore after that. And it took us until probably maybe 10 years ago in our 40s before we even had the conversation about it. And he's like, I kissed you then, and the way you responded, like you didn't like it, so da 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 da. And I'm like, no, that I'm awkward about that kind of stuff. You should have did more. Maybe we would have had a chance to be together. Well, so And it was just a stroll down memory lane and talk about the first time we went to see it when he touched my hand. And he was like, "You didn't respond then, so that's why I moved my hand back." It was crazy. That's it. So that's a good memory. Every now and then we talk about it on occasion. Like if we all get, if he and I are having a conversation or something, we'll bring it up. But he's married now, so we don't try to go down that too far. But that's it. Love Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me always wonder, what if I was fast like my cousin? Where it would have gone.
I mean, when you growing up, you get invitations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
Well, now, mind you, I wasn't a teenager when Love Jones came out.
Sure
I had to
wasn't.
be in my 20s.
Mm-hmm. You were. You definitely were.
So,
Late 20s at that. This way, you know what I mean?
I was still awkward as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's go to the chat, see what they talking about. All right, wait. Let me see. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go all the way up here. Okay. Goonies was a classic. Purple Rain was a favorite movie. Tom says, son. Tom says, son, that was something that was not tolerated in the household of my pops. He did not play when it came to your books. I could dig it. Actually, mine didn't either. But you can't make a you can only make a turtle, crawl, run, but so fast. Unless they swim. They're pretty fast when it comes to that. But on land, you might have to wait. All right, Tom says, I'm glad that I had brothers and sisters and the family that was bringing home A's and B's because I was strictly a C plus student with a lot of common sense. But the thing is that I could read well. And that's what always got me over well also. I could read and I could spell. Clay says, Purple Rain was for me, was the transition from the king of pop Thriller to Prince. Michael dominated the universe from 82 to 84. And then the little light-skinned dude in heels took over. LOL. That's pretty much how that went.
Light-skinned dude in heels.
Pretty much. You know what I mean? With the hair that you wonder, like, do he press his shit or is it really like, what the fuck is going on with Prince? All right. Tom says, son, that has to be the worst feeling in the world to not be tagging along with your friends when they go on field trips. Yo, missing the 8th grade graduation trip, it was like,
oh.
The thing is, I could have went, but did it make sense? Like, I could have went, but did it make sense? I could have went to the 8th grade graduation party, but would it have made sense? What school are you going to next? Like, really?
Where we just came from.
I actually didn't go back there, but I thought I was. All right, Soldier Story and
Remember
The Wiz.
The one we were just in? That's the one I'm going back to. Remember them teachers?
I know. Oh my God. I was not mentally prepared to even give that explanation. Fucking had a heart attack. Carla says the first Halloween movie. I ain't lying, Kim. I would have probably lied or something. I was like, why did you have to ask me that? You just took me even farther into darkness. I'm never coming back. I said, I'm already insecure and shit. I got left back. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's a good thing I've never look. It's a good thing I've never been suicidal, because that might have. Now I'm saying that might have had me jumping off the Ben Franklin. All right.
During them years, everything felt like that, though.
Yo, it was heavy. It was heavy.
Listen, I told you how I responded to getting sprayed with water. Like I thought I was gonna die right there. Like, oh my God, they can see my bra and my panties. They can see a training bra and panties, and oh my God, my life is over. So everything was times 6,000 then.
Look, Kim, you know how Leos deal with humiliation. They don't. They don't.
So,
Don't do very well with embarrassment. Not at all. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, it was fucked up. It was fucked up. So, you know what I mean? And it don't even be no major shit. It's like, we just don't expect certain regular things to happen to us. Like, all right, like it's cool when it's them, but me? Ugh. Ah. All right, Carla said the first Halloween movie was the best because my dad gave the biggest Halloween party in our basement, which all of the neighborhood kids loved. That's what's up.
okay.
Yeah, Halloween, that was 78. So
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a
no.
good time. That's a good time to be had.
Okay. Tom says we can't forget Beverly Hills Cop. I know somebody said it already. No, they didn't. They didn't. Um. Okay. Said no.
That is true, Todd. You are correct.
So at least Prince had a female. Prince was a little jealous. 5'1" brother too. I didn't see no Nikki in the movie. All right. Clay said. He said, I was really living Prince. Let's go crazy. I literally was. This shit was fucking bonkers. And he says, that was a tough experience, son. It seems our people weren't prepared to deal with those transitional issues in childhood. My millennial and Gen Z remind me often of that fact. Can you imagine if we had social media back then and everybody could
Oh
see
my God,
and everybody
no.
could see your fucking pain and your embarrassment and your
Oh my God, no. Oh no.
it would have been mass
No.
suicides.
Yes.
It would have been mass
Yes.
suicides. You know what I mean? Like,
What? Oh no, no, no.
I don't see how these kids deal with that shit. I don't see how
I
they
think that's
deal
the
with their whole
problem
life
now.
being online or at all times. Like, yo, that ain't the way it's supposed to be.
Mm.
It ain't. All right.
People nerves just fall apart. People walking it. Everything you're doing, they recording. Oh no, there's no.
Tom says Papa was into Western movies like Bonanza, The Real, Walking Tall. My pulse was into detective movies like Coach. Oh, my pops was in detective movies like Kojak, Streets of San Francisco, Rockford Files, Cannon, Columbo, the original Heat of the Night. All right.
I was definitely watching Rockford Files.
Wow. Clay says, right, son. I think I saw Enter the Dragon 20 times in one weekend. God damn. See, that's when you used to be able to just stay in the movies. And if nobody came in, you just watched it all. You'd be in the movies all day. All day. You went to the movies at 11 o'clock. You coming out, it's night.
Yep.
Like what? Mm-hmm. Tom says, son, I think I had a bank account. My Adidas box was box. My mom thought I was selling drugs. My pops, pop socket. That's boy's eyes. Oh, eyes popped out of socket. His eyes are too light to be selling. I taught my son how to hustle, cutting grass and shoveling. Now look, this dickhead said, imagine being bald. Imagine. Oh boy. Imagine your mom having to give birth to you. God damn. Test tube babies. All right, Clay says. Our eighth grade trip was Washington, D.C. Damn, haven't thought about that in years. Yeah, me either.
Hey, Robert, it
Damn.
Robert, it is. Like,
Oh,
well, I
man.
got to go. You didn't.
Tom says Leo are very proud people. They hate to be embarrassed, and Leo will find a way to get your ass back. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could actually be next year, 2 years from now. That's actually true.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, they'll walk down.
Correct.
But we do try to get back fast. But if it's not possible,
I don't.
You're like, okay.
I'm not. I'd like to plan it out.
I normally try to get it over with fast because I'm like, look, you got to feel this now. You know what I mean? Because I'm impatient. But it is what it is. Big fast car. Because of Halloween party, we was all in that same bucket bobbing for the same apple, not worried about no damn mouth swab or change in the water. You ain't never fucking. We put our face in the water trying to get an apple. Like we really ate apples like that. It was about the game. That was a fun game. It was about the game. You know what I mean? Girls didn't worry about their weed, getting fucked up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? What? No weed. Like you put your face in that water and try to get that. It was about winning. And when you think about it, how the fuck did we do? What did we do? Grab the apple by the stem? How did we do it? An apple ain't an easy thing to bite without no hands.
With your teeth. You just kept doing it with your teeth, and then finally somebody got mad and just reached in and got it out.
I remember people getting it in their mouth. They had to have gotten it by the stem. You could damn near drown in that bucket.
Yeah, people almost doing that.
Bobbing for apples.
Act like it was normal and
leave it to
back to it.
Leave it to time. Fucking bobbing for apple. I forgot about bobbing for apple. We sure the hell did. Everybody face went in that bucket. Nobody worried about you don't get nothing from bobbing from apple. Man, no punk ass kid. Who told you that shit?
Yeah. Remember, we were the ones who grew up drinking out of the water holes and drinking from that dirty fountain. So that's probably why we don't catch too much now. We had our germs back then. Made us a little immune, low key.
Yo, call us a time. Halloween will never be the same. Nobody catching the cooties. I ain't never know nobody who caught cooties from bobbing for apples or drinking out of a water hose. The water was water. All right, man. We've come to the very end. That was nice though. That was cool. All right, let's go to the poll question. All right. How would you rate your long-term memory overall? 70% said like an elephant or a hard drive. Wow. Ah, okay. 5% said remember when you remember when people have done you wrong. Okay. 15% said long-term memory shot straight CRS. Can't remember shit. Okay. And 10% said can remember people but not names. Fair enough. That was only 20 votes, so y'all know how it go. Y'all know what it is. But interesting. Interesting. I was thinking like movies were a good way to kind of jog your long-term memory. You know what I mean? You have to think like movies themselves.
More things like that.
Huh?
You should come up with more stuff where we can kind of tap into the memory base because we all at that age.
Oh,
it couldn't hurt.
Oh no, we got some. I got some bullets in the clip. We locked and loaded for the next few weeks. We good.
Yeah, we need some stuff like that.
As a matter of fact, we can choose right now, even though hardly any of people that was here tonight will be here next week because it just seems to work that way. All right. So we can do movies that, all right, movies that you went to go see multiple times, which is an easy one. Movies that you would only wait to see on video, like I'm not going to go see that shit, but when it come on video, I'll check it out. That would be like the Michael Jackson movie is for me right now. Like no way I would pay to see that. But when it come on video, I'll see what the hype was. How about that? You know what I mean? And movies that were books first. Huh?
I love that when movies that were books first.
Okay, so it'll be one of those three. Mm-hmm. And so we good. We good. So with this long-term memory question, Kim, which one would describe your long-term memory?
My long-term memory is pretty good. For the most part, I may forget names, but I remember faces. But that short-term memory, ask me what I said 10 seconds ago. But the long term.
Don't ask you what you said 10 seconds ago. Wow.
Don't expect too much from that. If you ask what happened in 1995, June 13th, I might get you.
Okay. So you would have picked like an elephant or a hard drive, or would you have said, like you said, can't remember, you can remember people but not names.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would say my long-term memory is, well, other people say my long-term memory is like an elephant or a hard drive, but I would actually say that I can remember, because I remember names of a lot of people. So I guess I would have to go with the first one, but they're going to be lapses. Like maybe my hard drive is corrupted, got a virus. You know what I'm saying? Memory is overloaded. You gotta take some apps off and shit in order for it to work right. You know what I mean? But I don't know exactly how well an elephant remembers. You know what I mean? But I imagine that it's comparable to a dog. A dog has pretty good long-term memory. Mm-hmm. But you know what? A cat might have better long-term memory than a dog.
They say cats remember stuff.
They do. They definitely remember shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. They psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. It has been fun. Everybody stay safe. For all the people who have a 4-day week, 4-day weekend, and then another 4-day week, yay to you. Because I do too. Tomorrow's my last day for a minute. I can't wait. So until then, everybody, have a good one. Stay safe. I am out because I am sleepy.
All right.
Good night.
Well, thanks for coming through, Kim. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 20th, last day of Taurus, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are Special. They get the Respect. They are Special. They get the Respect. They are Special. They get the Respect. They get number one out the box, Jeff Carter, and also Miss Dee Dee Richardson, Cheryl Harden, Thomas Walker, Train Smith, Cindy Vicente Rivera, Angela Hawkins, Marsha Alfred, Tawana Jones, Kaka Touche, and last but not least, Catrice Whitsett. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 20th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, I saw this movie with my girl. I remember back then she was my only world. And when she left, my world crumbled. And I couldn't even walk, couldn't stutter, stumble. I fell down to the ground because my heart was messed up. She was messing me around. But I got her back. What I had to do was make sure that my dough got stacked. And I did that, but that didn't get me back with her, and I ain't get the cat. And I remember back in the time, sometimes all you did was take a walk and get yours. Mine. Yo, I was there, and I remember how I used to care. All of those movies that we saw, we went every weekend and saw them Johns, y'all. Having a good time with friends, spending up your money all the way to the end, going to the arcade. Yeah, having a little picnic, all the shades. I remember them school trips. You would have the best lunch, no cat crunch. Just a bunch of fun with you and your guys. And y'all had all the, hold up. Yo, you and a bunch of guys. And it was always somebody in the crew told a bunch of lies. Fish stories, always being the winner. Reminds me of Donald Trump, you fucking lump. Fucking hump, what is you talking about? Yo, we had a lot of shit, always had it crazy out. And every time we had to come back together, we remember that shit that we had in them weathers. Whether it was the sun, summer, winter, fall, spring, yo, we was out doing a thing. Queens and kings, you know, everything's gonna be all right. Is how I go. I'ma see y'all win tomorrow at 1 a.m. DG show. Peace to my brother Tom. You know how I go. Kyla coming through, always on the show. And my man Clay, you know, back in the day, we had to do that thing, do it in the same way. And thanks for everybody that came through, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hope to see you too. Hit the like button, yeah, like and share, yeah, subscribe to the thing, push the button there. And if you want to donate, I ain't gonna hate, yo, I need a couple of coins, yo, join. Man, become a member, and yo, it's going down tomorrow like timber. All right, y'all. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night. 1 a.m. in the morning. So make sure y'all come on through and let's have a good time just like we always do. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. Get some rest and be the best thing that you could ever be. Holla. Peace, y'all. All right.